We are excited. Dia's back. Atiana's back. My wife is back. We haven't recorded in
forever.
It's been at least 3 to 4 weeks because we recorded Jay. Dina's back. Trying to say hi to YouTube.
Hi YouTube. Let's go.
All right, episode 100. You ready?
Yes. Yeah, we're backing up. Let's go.
Here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Made for More Consulting podcast. Dina just jumped.
That was a very aggressive welcome back.
This is a podcast where we talk and learn about leadership development. We want to make sure that we're growing continually because what we don't have, we can't give away. And if we're leading people, we want to make sure we're growing. And Dina, welcome back.
I am glad to be back. It's been several weeks since we've
about
all
4
been
weeks.
together.
Atiana's here, Jamie's here.
What I feel like the one of them that we did, like one of the last ones, Atiana wasn't here.
No, and then I went to Midland.
And Jamie wasn't
Jay.
here.
Yeah, it was just me and you because she had gone somewhere.
I've had a
Yeah.
birthday since the last time.
Yes, I mean, yeah, it's been a long time since we've all been together.
Yeah, and we're here together for
And we're here
episode
together.
100.
See how cool it is?
So
That's
I gotta tell you, some people were like, "So where's episode 100?" We had an episode 100, but we didn't have an episode 100.
Well, this is episode 100 right
It
here.
is.
We got
Yeah.
this.
Just excited. I asked the question in our notes. Can you believe that we're at 100?
No, I absolutely cannot
I
believe
can.
it that we're at 100. And what that's like, I mean, 2 years, you
Mm-hmm.
know, which that's crazy to me.
Yeah, and
2 years.
we've never missed recording on a week, just like we missed the last 3 weeks. Like that's never happened, but we
Mhm.
planned it. So
Yeah, we did. And I mean, there was, I think, well, I don't even have to go down like memory lane, but there was only like one time I remember, like it didn't, something happened and it didn't work out. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of our like strong points is our consistency in this.
people ask like, how often do you record? And I said every week, and they couldn't believe it. I'm like, yeah, we could do better recording multiple times, like we've tried.
We said that last year at this time.
But
We're
what's
like,
interesting
here's what
is
we're gonna do.
It's tough to. I mean, we've done it before.
We've done 2 before.
But it's tough to discuss a book, particularly, I guess, in the same day. 2 podcasts in one day on the same book because you're having to switch your mind.
Right. The only book I think we could have done it with was the last book.
Oh yeah, we could have
We
done
could
that.
have done that.
Don't read this book. That's what we could have said. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Is it right there?
Yeah, Dare to Lead.
Dare to Lead, Brene
Yep.
Brown.
Have we picked our books for this year?
No, I have a few that I've already read. I've read 2 in the last couple weeks or listened to.
Yeah.
But they're good. They're just deep books. I don't know if we want to cover them.
I think we should do one of the Jordan Peterson books. We've talked about it. We would just have to be more intentional on our side about what we covered because it's so much.
Yeah, because the 12 Rules of Life, I think it's over there. They're just so deep, and the chapters are forever long.
But I think we should. I think we should be brave.
All right.
We should dare to lead.
So we'll do. No, we'll do one off next week. Episode 101. Jay will be on 102. So if he's listening to this, Jay, heads up. Hopefully he'll be in Midland. And then 103 will be our first, but we'll be 30 weeks out. Yeah.
Perfect.
You want to do 12 Rules to Life? Is that what it's called?
Unless you have another suggestion. I mean,
I do. But
I wanted to do that last year. We don't have to do it the first book. We can do it just sometime in the
12
year.
Rules for Life. And then he has one that says 12 more rules for life.
Let's just start with the basics.
We can do the one I'm reading right now is The Struggle is the Way. I told my wife
That sounds not inspirational or
it is
motivational.
I will tell you, in the last 3 years of reading books for our podcast, 2 years, it's probably the best book. I mean, it's up there with Trust and Inspire.
Okay, might give you that.
So we'll see.
Okay, well I'm here for it.
Episode 100.
Yeah, I might need to get a head start though. So
Yeah, the Struggle is Away. I've only listened to it. You guys go buy the book. It's a conglomeration. How do you say that? Conglomeration. Like a
Yep.
conglomeration.
No.
I always say it.
I feel like you're.
Anyways, it is a excerpt of all Marcus Aurelius's sayings, and it's amazing. I'm telling you, it is an easy read. It is an easy read with some of the most challenging things you'll.
I'm. You know what? I mean, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You
It-
rarely steer me wrong.
No, I know. And what I'm telling you is it removes you from.
Who picked Trust and Inspire?
Did you?
I did. Who picked
No
Dare to
way.
Lead? You did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever. Anyways, the struggle is the way is a it's removing the victim mentality in life and telling you to lead forward in every single area of your life. So it's
Let's go.
it's gonna be good. That'll be episode 103. Get your book. So the party again last Sunday we had a party.
We sure did.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Tatiana did a lot of work for it. And She
Uh-huh.
couldn't make it, but that's okay.
I hung out with the Yin Yang twins.
She hung out with the Yin Yang twins.
Yeah, I was like, what in the world?
If you
is
don't
she-
know who the Yin Yang twins are, don't Google. Yin
Oh,
Yang
yeah, don't
twins,
do that.
please. Who else was there?
It was Yin Yang twins, Lloyd,
Lloyd was
Trina,
there?
Trina, Ja Rule and Ashanti, Juvenile, I think. Yeah, it was awesome.
That sounds fun.
That's
It
like
was a
90s,
lot of fun.
or late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, so I really wanted to go to the party. I was super sad I couldn't make it. So I told Mario, it was like the day before, right?
Mhm.
My boss called me over because we were at a little graduation party. And he said, hey, Merry Christmas. We got you guys tickets to this concert. And I was so like torn about it. I was like, Mario, I was crying.
Yeah, I just told her it's okay. It's fine. Hang out with Ja Rule. He was in jail for a while. Ja Rule he sang
So are you.
yeah, but oh well. Anyways, so that's part of the
That is awesome.
That's part of the party for you.
I'm researching our next
Okay.
book.
Oh my gosh.
I drove by the party.
I
It
think
looked fun.
Yeah, I really, honestly, I think the best part, which it's so lame, but it was just really like sitting there and seeing all these people in a room that don't have a connection to each other than the podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
And I like
Yeah.
some of the people that were there, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We've known them, but it is interesting that I
That
don't
they-
think
that
they
they
would hang out
support it.
outside of there.
Right,
Together.
that they support the podcast and that they wanted to be a part of that. I really,
Yeah.
I just appreciated that and I love that. The only thing I wish I would have more socialization time.
Yeah,
I didn't get-
I
'Cause
didn't
got
get to
there.
either.
I got there like 15 minutes late because we had something before that, so I didn't get to. I don't think I got to like talk to everybody. I got to say I tried to say hello to everyone, but I didn't get to like,
Yeah.
visit, as my grandma would say.
Yeah, it was good. I think seeing you came up to me, you said who are you surprised the most to see it? And I mean there was a couple of people that I was like, they
Yeah.
probably don't listen, but they want to support us, which is great. And even if they listen, I mean I'm blown away that they do. I just
Now everybody's
wow.
gonna be like, are they talking about me? Are they talking about me?
I will tell you one of the things that was cool starting this episode right now, episode 100, is that last month was the biggest month our podcast had.
Again, you say
Again.
that every month.
Yeah, no, but this was like
We continue
Like
to grow.
huge.
yeah, it was one of the. I still am blown away by how many people listened
So what do you
And,
what do you think you were most surprised about?
at the party.
Yeah.
I think what you just said is interesting because I didn't think about it till now, which is the diversity in that room, from mechanics to or CPAs to business owners. It was just an interesting mix of people,
Yeah, it was.
and the people that put it together. Like again, Courtney Page and Ainsley, her daughter, she made the cupcakes.
Where
and all
was
that stuff.
Ainsley? Was
She had to
working?
leave. She was.
Okay, I didn't see her.
She did a lot of stuff before the party. Like she was and then the other part, John Parks flew in from Oregon, which was cool.
That that was another thing I really appreciated, and I'm like I love seeing him there, and he just like fits right in.
Yeah,
like
he lives here.
Like he lives here. Yeah,
Which
come
is
on,
cool.
John, move on back.
Yeah,
Because then they used to live in Texas.
yeah,
See?
North Texas.
Come back to Texas.
Anyways, Ainsley did the cupcakes, was blowing up balloons, and we went to go help her, and she just had surgery like a week ago, and so she's there. She gets there and starts helping put things together. She goes, "I think I'm going to go home because I'm a little overwhelmed." I think she was hot and she was not fully.
Yeah, she just
healed. So
She overdid it.
She did. Anyway, so episode 100. I think that the other part. Anything about the party that you want to say?
Jamie's like, I just wanted to hide in the back.
She was. Just like in the podcast, she was behind the bar.
I know.
Not the bar.
I look
she's
over,
like-
she's like back in the corner, like nobody look at me, nobody talk to me. I'm surprised you weren't back in the kitchen.
Yeah.
If I could have been, I would have been.
The other part that was cool was when John, Adam Adams, Raph, and Jay all talked. It was all the thread, the needle between all of it was the same. Like you could pull a thread, and everything they talked about was the same. So I thought that was cool. So we're gonna just share some things on this episode. The most listened to podcast last year, episode 100.
Yeah.
Have you listened to it yet?
No, I have
you have not. So if they're listening right now, Hayden and McKenna, number one. I mean, outside of our first episode, which was in 2001, but this year that surpassed it, all of them was Hayden and McKenna. Be a little wilder.
They're traveling the world right now, and
I think they're in Australia right now.
yeah,
Austria.
Austria,
Oh,
yeah.
Austria,
Yeah.
not Australia.
whatever.
But yeah, no, their podcast just from the shares that they had, the message they had, that was a really good podcast.
What is interesting is, my family does not listen to the podcast, and the
Yeah.
only episode that McKenna has listened to is Hayden and McKenna's. It's like,
Interesting.
okay, yeah,
I remember her telling us that.
Yeah.
And so Hayden and McKenna were the number one listened to podcast, which is legit. I think that another one, the third one or second one was Jay's How to Be Present 2023. So, or 2022.
again, I'm gonna have to go listen to that.
Come on now. November was our most downloaded month, and I'm sure downloaded usually listens are more than downloads. So 825 people in November. We're over 12,000 pretty easy, I think, is where we're at. 12,051 downloads. It's crazy,
That is crazy.
but hopefully people are listening. So, what about cool stories? What would you say? Some cool stories since the podcast has been around. I have some, but I didn't know if you wanted
Yeah,
to
no,
share.
you go first.
Number
Because
one,
I'm like, I don't.
one of them would be John Parks, episode
Yes.
60. So if you guys haven't listened to episode 60, The Pursuit for Better, John Parks talks a lot about how he found Made for More in Oregon. Then he came down. They stayed with us for a few days in February of this year. And he just talks about, he found some other podcasts. They didn't really fit. Then he typed in the search bar motivate or inspire and encourage, because he felt like he couldn't give the people around him what he meant to give, because it was coming across cold or insensitive. And so he said, ever since he listened to episode 1, he goes, these guys have it. And so he's doing our one-on-one coaching, and it's even gone further to where he's looked back into his childhood, where he knows who he is because of some things that happened in his childhood with his mother, and he's sharing that with me. But it's becoming better for 2023 because he's tying all these things together to go, my values started as a kid, this is who I am, and now again, 2023 is going to be a good year for him. But episode 60, The Pursuit for Better with John Parks.
Yeah, I really enjoyed getting to know them. Just overall, I think they just have a cool story.
Yeah, she's a part of that health business.
Well, and you just think, how much of an impact must something have had to say, like, okay, I'm like, I am coming from Oregon.
Yeah,
To
have
come
you
see
ever done
me.
that? I mean, I've never
No!
done that.
What? And what's so interesting to me is when you meet and you talk to him, like that doesn't seem like that's his personality. Like
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
super
Like, he
like
fit in at the 100
Yeah.
party. It was just like he was one of us.
what and so I saw him in February. We went to breakfast when they were
Yeah.
here, and then I saw him at the party. And I feel like he's not that he's a different person, but he carries himself so much different.
He's grown,
like he
right?
really is.
That's
He's
so
just
awesome.
I know. I wanted to be like,
Yeah.
he looks so good.
Yeah. And then somebody we need to record with, I'd love to have him here, is Alan Cormier. I think that's how you say his last name. He is a part of Epic Warrior now with Jay, but he got connected through our podcast. So
Yeah, and I
Alan,
remember Jay talked about that.
yeah, I had no idea that he was at the end of his ropes. I hope I'm saying this right, Alan, with his career and his job. And then he heard us start talking about leading on empty, and it saved his career. Is what I have not heard the story. I have not talked to Alan. Alan and I text all the time.
And that was the one that Jay was that he messaged Jay and said, "Hey, I want to be a part of what you're doing."
Yeah.
And Jay was like, "Okay."
Yeah, and Jay met him through a Zoom,
Yeah, they
and they
Zoomed.
talked. But again, what's funny is John and Alan now know each other through the podcast, and they connect. And then Alan and I text.
See,
and
that is the Made for More community right there.
That's what you talk about when we talk about community. So those two stories right there.
I feel like we can just be done recording because
No.
I just sold it.
No, I already know how it works. Anyways, but I think those two things were pretty cool. And as far as books, I mean, I think the episode at our house where we had everybody come over, it was kind of like our small group when we first started. We took, I think that picture, it's on my background on Facebook. That's probably one of my favorite pictures that we took. That's when I think Darren and Tyler were making inappropriate jokes off to the side. And we were like, excuse me? Mm-hmm. And then the sleeper, like when I say sleeper, I mean the book that I did not expect was Iron Sharpened Leadership. Like,
that was
that
good.
one by that Navy Master Chief or somebody.
And I love that that's the book that I remember saying, okay, we read this book and it was about a guy and he told a story about riding a bicycle and you were like, Iron Sharpened Leadership.
Yeah,
and that's just like, good job. Way to read my brain.
So, John Parks, if you want to listen, it's episode 60. Alan talked about Leading on Empty. It starts at episode 66, which again, that book is, you can read that book every year. And then Iron Sharpened Leadership is episode 54. The key word is power.
That was a good one. Iron Sharpened Leadership was good. And I mean, I think everybody knows my favorite, Trust and Inspire. But I definitely think Iron Sharpened Leadership was a close third.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think my second one would be?
I have no idea. I don't even know.
Yeah, well, you're gonna really appreciate it. I think it's Extreme Ownership.
Yeah, good.
I really do.
I was gonna guess that, but I wasn't sure if you were.
Well, I think because I had resisted reading that book so much.
Yep.
But
yeah, I know. You were like, "Are we gonna do another Jocko book?"
But yeah, it was really good. I really liked that one.
And we gave that one away at the freaking
at the party.
Yeah. A lot of people talked about Simon Sinek as well. I mean, we've done a couple of Simon Sinek books, but as far as what you just shared, I believe it is after Ralph Robinson. It says There's No Room for Ego. It is episode 18, I think. Extreme Ownership. Episode 3.
We first mentioned it.
We first mentioned it in episode 3, but episode 18, I believe. Yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
You put that on there. We're hitting the books again this week. Martin and Dina begin Extreme Ownership. So if you want to go back and listen to episode 18, that's an amazing one. Again, Jocko, I think, is one of the mentor inspirations to the podcast. So for me, anyways.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, so like episode 100, it's kind of a mile marker. It's a milestone, you know. And one of the things, you know, we always want to do is we want to continue. You're looking at me like, what are you about to ask me?
When you do this, it's typically I got to think pretty quick.
Oh, that's funny. So you know, here we are, 100, and our mission, our goal internally is always to be growing and improving.
Yeah.
So what do you think we're gonna do to grow and improve, like the podcast and like Made for More, like for the next 100 episodes?
I know that for me, to help support you guys better, on my Mondays I have the script already set. So one is preparation. Like we have to be prepared. Consistent preparation. Yes. So like Monday on my office day or whatever you want to call it, Made for More day, I want to make sure that you guys get the script. Not that you guys will see it, but that you get the script in your inbox and everybody can see that. Just to have a plan, you know, to be better at that. Because when you look at Jocko's podcast and Andy Stanley's and all these other ones I've been listening to recently, I've actually started listening to more. Their podcast notes or episode notes, they're pretty legit, because even if it's Etiana or anyone that inputs them in, if I can give her the script, she's really good at highlighting or linking things in there. Totally cool. So I really want to get better prepared. I also want to just make sure we challenge people more. I want to read books that continue to help us have an open mind. It's not just one way. And that first book, The Struggle is a Way, the title alone is going to make you think, I don't want to read that, but it's good. And then I do want to start, I don't know if it's I know I didn't do the lowdown very well. I did like 6 of them, or maybe not even 6 of them, which was like a 15-minute podcast of simple leadership things. So if we bring that back, I would like to. But I think the other thing that this has helped me is to think through messages that I would love to share with people. But I don't know if Made for More Consulting podcast is the platform. So I don't know. You asked that question. I have no idea.
He's
I just want us to get
starting
better.
another podcast.
No,
So
no.
it's just
No.
Yeah, I think one of the things I would like to see us market the podcast like through like the different like podcast channels.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
I think that's one way that I think our community does a great job of sharing.
Yeah.
You know,
So
the
market it
podcast.
better.
Yeah, but
That's
I mean,
good.
because I think about like John Parks is a great example.
Yeah.
You know, that he just happened to type in the right words and then boom, there it was. And how many more people could find it and we have another story like that.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think making a quote unquote commercial, because what you can do that I've learned is that you can create a 20-second to 45-second commercial of an excerpt and share that with other podcasts. They pay, we don't need the money. You can't, I mean, it's like 45 cents. But what I'm saying is if a leadership podcast says, hey, I want to put a commercial of your podcast in mine, here's 45 cents. Well, when they say, hey, let's take a break, you can have a made for more consulting. So I agree. I think that's a really good point. Sharing it more.
Yeah. I think there are things that we can do to grow like on our side, but I think that's one way is I think we should focus on reaching more people,
I
and
wonder.
put some strategies to reach.
You just made me think. So we're thinking like on the fly right now. This
how-
is usually
how
how
we-
my
it's how
brain
we do
works.
best.
So Etienne, what would it do to have a Made for More Consulting podcast account on social media? Is that weird? Because like
I think it's
Jocko has
weird.
Jocko Podcast, Jocko has
No, I don't
himself.
think it's weird at all.
But do you see what I'm saying? Because what you're saying would would go straight to, oh, we have a podcast, and all it
That's
is
how you network with other
nothing
podcasts.
except excerpts, quotes, books. So
Yeah.
that's a thought.
I want to do that.
Well, you go. So
I
there
can
you
do
go. She
this
can
one
do
and
it.
I'll do the podcast.
There,
See?
she'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe her.
Yeah. And but again, it goes straight to promoting the podcast.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, now I'm like, we could start a production company, and then we could put different. Like, did you see it, Tiana? If you're going to start another podcast, let's start a production company and put other podcasts underneath it. Then Tiana can start her podcast, Single and Sassy, or whatever.
Oh, gosh.
What was it? It was a great name.
I don't.
Oh yeah, okay, it'll come to you. I was like, that's a great name.
What's
Oh my
James?
gosh, yes.
I don't remember naming it.
Oh my friend, come on.
Oh,
Come on.
yours was gonna be these
No.
three people.
We already had this conversation.
Yeah. It'll come to
Episode
me.
100.
All
It's
things.
something you always say.
It might be all the things.
Oh, yeah,
$1 million
it's like
and a
so
husband.
good. That would be good. $1 million and a husband.
You guys can follow my
That's
journey
awesome.
to get $1 million.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if it's one or the other, I want $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
Anyways.
But anyway, and that we would just say you could
Sounds
start a
like
whole like production company
Yeah.
underneath that.
Yeah.
I mean, because I have people that want to do a podcast.
Yeah. I think the other thing about the
Oh,
podcast is I
yeah.
wanted to produce like more customers, clients. So
Yes.
I have a couple of people right now that since the episode 100 party, we've had meetings to go, hey. So
Well,
yeah.
and I think I've told you this before, but I think we also need to have, instead of just name dropping and business dropping, we need to have them make little commercials and put their commercials in. That
True.
way,
That's
see,
Yeah.
we are going to generate some income just to,
Yeah.
just to be able to improve these,
Mhm.
improve it. And
Well,
that way, for making commercials or getting commercials or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
have it all pay for itself.
The other thing too is diversifying your content. So
Mhm.
you can talk about books still, but also talk about what you do as a business.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't actually know what a one-on-one looks like with you.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And I think
We just had a Made for More meeting right here on the podcast.
and
That's
the
what it
people
looks
are
like.
listening, this is how it happens. guys. We don't go in with a plan, but we come out with a plan. No, you're right. I think that's good. I think the podcast can definitely be a platform for people to have life change, like John, like Alan, and I think also to support. Like I just saw Mandy and Ryan from Childhood
Childhood
Ranch. They had over 100 couples
Yep.
come out to their ranch in Fredericksburg, and their foster family or just foster parents, not the families, because what their goal is to give their the parents a break.
Mhm.
And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So and then maybe this next year catching up with some of those nonprofit or some of our guests to see where they're at. And, but
Okay, I have
Yeah.
my second. How we're gonna make Made for More. We also are going to.
he already has his plan. So go ahead.
No, we
No,
we
this is
talked
good.
about this
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, but we are gonna start Made for More Gives Back.
Made for
We
More
talk
Gives
about
Back.
it, And we've tried to, but we haven't like really focused on it. So this is going to be the year yes. And I think through one of the ways that we've done that is by having nonprofits on the podcast.
Yeah.
And introducing them and encouraging people to
Yeah.
give. So
I know it's weird, but like one of my favorite things that I would love to do is to, and it sounds so cheesy, but walking into HEB and just getting in front of someone and saying, hey, we're going to pay for this. And them going, what do you mean? We're going to pay for your groceries.
because you are made for
No,
more.
we don't
Don't
have to
ever
say
forget.
Don't ever give up.
Don't ever give up.
Every
Yeah.
single one of us is
And
made
then
for
you
more.
pay for it, and then it says, hey, your card's declined. Well, I guess you're going to have to pay for
Sorry,
it, man.
I
So-
was made for less.
No, but I mean, yeah, you're right. Made for More gives back. I think the sky's the limit because you and I just talked about, and we've talked about teens, like helping teenagers
More students.
and students.
Yep.
So there's a lot that we can do. I think we just need to be focused and moving forward. So, yeah. What about what else? What else?
I mean, those were my like two things I thought of.
Can y'all think of anything?
Oh, mine is to reprioritize Made for More's time because I think I've made a lot of time for other things this year.
For like you personally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I want to schedule like a day of my time where I am making posts for you. I am following up with notes, all of that. I want to rebrand the website again. Obviously, stay within our brand, but
That's awesome.
but I want to update it and make it look cooler. So I need to prioritize my time to really
Tatiana's
take
the
Made for More to
best.
the next level.
Yeah.
You're the best. That's so nice.
Jamie? Anything that you can see us doing different that you want to see us do?
Jamie's like, as long as I get to stay behind the camera. How about this year, Jamie? You come over here.
Yeah.
I think we should. I think we should interview Jamie
One of the
again this
things
year.
I
She
did
so
want to
should.
talk about was so everybody at the episode 100 got a limited edition T-shirt. I didn't get a T-shirt, which is totally fine, but I love seeing people get the T-shirt. My former boss, your boss, got the coveted black
That was a
shirt.
really
Like it was in it. That was the last bag we had, and he was like, "I got the last black shirt," and he was like, "Man."
He's
He goes,
excited
he
about
goes,
it.
I just saw black. He was like, "I thought everybody had." I was like, "No, dude, you get the only one." He was like, "That's cool." So I talked to him about that.
You got the last black.
John Bang Bang Edmonds made an appearance.
Yes, he
And
did.
he's the only one I took a picture with that night with Jay.
I
Like
believe you.
I wish we took more pictures. Like
I wish we would have done a big group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
picture.
big
I didn't
group.
even think
Yeah.
about that.
yeah,
Oh,
if
see,
you're watching
Tiana,
on
you're gonna have to
YouTube-
keep us on the ball
I
for
know.
these things.
if you're watching on YouTube, we have that
It's my fault.
100
I went to see you.
what is this canvas that everybody signed. But yeah, John showed up. But I will tell you, in the bag came a t-shirt, a sticker, and then the trash, the candy that my mom made. As soon as people left, they're like, I can't tell you how many people said it's like crack. Like so many people. And I'm telling you, Tiana, our family didn't get a bag. My mom made so many, and yours is sitting downstairs, and we were all staring at
You're
her
like,
bag.
should we
going,
take Etty
yeah,
on
should we
this?
take her candy
She'll
upstairs?
never know.
There was no candy in the bags, but
So shout out to
Bobby.
Bobby
Yeah,
to
my
make
mom
sure she's
made
got
that,
extra.
but Courtney as well helped with the bags. But again, just the community, the building of the community over the last 100 episodes has been pretty cool. So if you are listening from wherever, we would love to know where you're listening from. And if you say, hey, I think this is what you guys could do better, I mean, go for it.
Why not?
We'll just
Tell
tell
us.
us.
Just don't give us a bad review. Give us a good review
We
and
have
just let us
29, I think.
know.
5-star reviews,
Yeah.
all 5 stars. So
Yeah.
man, I went online to just look at reviews on. I was gonna buy Jamie a birthday gift, a purse, and a wallet, and she's well known. And I went, and she works for a positive company, and I went, and how many 1-star reviews they gave her because the leather was tarnished or something, but they're made in foreign countries. So I'm sitting there going, man, they blasted her, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to put a product out there that everybody's gonna give 1 star, but I mean, anyways, the money goes to a good cause. It went to an orphanage, and I'm like, I guess everybody just wants to put their own thoughts on reviews. And I'm like, well, you forget what the meaning behind it is. So, anyways, that's one thing also that I want to make sure that we do in the future is stay, like Etiana said, redo the brand, but stay who we are, which is motivate, inspire, and encourage.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else? I feel like this is just a
I mean, yeah, that's all.
episode
Yeah.
conversation.
Just- I don't know how I'm just like, I like to know those things.
I think if anyone knows a way to get a hold of Jocko, it'd be cool to have him on the podcast in the next 100 episodes. Jay was saying, well, how cool would it be to just open up the podcast and say, hey, welcome back to Made for More Consulting Podcast, episode whatever.
Today
we have Jocko on the
is
podcast.
joining us.
I think I would love to have someone that we talked about on the podcast, or maybe the next one.
I'm pretty sure I could get Stephen Covey on.
Yeah, because
he follows me,
us.
and he
Oh
followed
my
me,
gosh.
and he'll like my story or my post every now and
There
then.
you go.
You're famous.
Because of
Yeah,
Trust and Inspire.
he only has like 107 followers, like because he's not like he's like an older guy. He's not social media.
You're famous.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be cool.
We're tight.
Mike Sorelli would be cool for me. He's from Austin. He's a former SEAL. Episode 99, we talked about him on the rooftop. They got saved by Mike Mansour, but Mike Sorelli's from Austin. It'd be cool to have him. He has his own podcast out of UT, and he's one of the only guys that ever skydived onto Mount Everest. He does
Okay.
skydiving for charity. He's a cool guy.
Skydiving
Mike
for
Sorelli.
charity.
I'll never forget that he was in the mall at Lakeline Mall here in Austin, him and his wife, and two guys were fighting, like two small guys. And Mike Sorelli is like a 6 foot, maybe 4, over 200 pounds, and he's huge. He's a former Green Beret and I think Navy SEAL. So he walks up to both guys, picks them up, and separates them, and tells them to get lost, and they both run. And he,
Like I saw that out of the movies.
yeah, exactly. He's a big dude. So, anyways, he'd be cool to have on. But yeah, I just want us to make sure that we're continuing to make an impact in the next 100 episodes. So
That's gonna happen. I believe it.
anything you have anything, Jamie? I'm looking at you. I can't
I
see
know.
because it's light. But guys, do you have anything else?
No, I mean, I think I always appreciate the people that do take their time and listen. And I mean, we talked about all the people that showed up for the 100th episode, but we wouldn't be at 12,000, whatever it is that we're at, without people listening,
Yeah.
you know. And let's be real, like sometimes they're not always the best. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we do a pretty
No,
good
you're right.
job,
No,
but I
you're
mean,
right.
there are times when it the whole Dare to Lead book, you know, like they hung with us
Yeah.
during that book.
Yeah, except Adam Adams.
Yeah,
He
he
said,
was like,
"Hey,
I'm not gonna
I'm gonna go listen to Jay's instead of yours."
But he's back.
And I think the other thing, Eddie Lazo, he made those cups, the
Yeah.
Made for More
They're
cups.
super cool.
Yeah. He partnered. The other thing too is through this is Eddie has met with Raph and Mark and his. I have quite a bit of things sitting in my garage that he created for Slab, and being able
When
to
he
connect
he
the
gets that
dots between
vibe,
people.
like Eddie
Yes.
and Slab, like that is like the same vibe.
Yeah. I think seeing the connections that people make because of the podcast. So, yeah. Shonda. Oh my gosh. I just realized what she said her name on
Oh my
episode
god.
100. She put Shonda Courtney
Courtney.
Herman. If you don't know that, the most embarrassing moment in my life to this day is I called her Courtney on her wedding day as I was doing the ceremony. I said, Jeff, do you take
Courtney.
Courtney to be your wife? And he looked at me and said no. And I was like, what did I just say? And I thought right then and there he was saying no to her. And I was like, oh my gosh, I called her the wrong name. So
That's what happens when you use your old notes.
Exactly. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be looking forward to episode 101. We'll have a one-off. I know we have several topics that's the other thing I want to do in the next year is have topics, not just books, but topics that we have made notes about to go, hey, we want to talk about this. And just, create conversation. I think that's one of the things that I get feedback the most is I enjoy you guys just hanging out talking.
Well, they should enjoy this episode then.
Because just like this last one with Jay, we were talking about Mike Mansour, but it went off on a tangent with how your life does everyone have a calling on their life, and how do you find that, or does it even matter? Like, it doesn't even matter what you do; it's who you are, and we've always said that. But how does the person that is, cleaning tables and have a less than job and still continue to have purpose? Well, they have purpose. It's just different than mine and yours. And so, but none of us are better than that. But I will tell you, what was it? was it Abraham Lincoln in that new book that we're going to read? He said that sometimes opportunity looks like a broom.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
Sometimes it looks like hard work.
yeah, and get it and go,
Yeah.
and that's where you start. Sometimes you got to start there. And so, anyways, what do you want to leave our people with on episode 100? What would you say?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good.
For real.
That's good. That's a really good way to end the podcast. That's good. Any of y'all? Anything?
That was mine.
Jamie doesn't have much to say today.
She says thank you.
No, yeah, I really do appreciate everyone that listens. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for showing up. And again, sticking with us when we go over books like Brene Brown's. Anyways, looking forward to 2023. And yeah, continue to let us know where you're listening from. Let us know your story. And we appreciate you guys listening. Like we always say, remember, we exist for more. We're here to offer more. Don't ever give up. Every single one of us is made for more.
Bye, guys.
Hope that was okay.
It was good.
Oh, you too. Continue to forget. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you guys later. See you. Oh yeah, I can do it from here. Wait,
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
can't.
yeah. Oh,
We just hit
yeah.
stop, please. Wait.